this next kit is the February. Let me find my February pictures. Ooh, got a little sticky there. I'm gonna move all my March stuff over. Move my little rabbit guy over. So these are the projects that we're making, and this particular kit came with Rococo Rose. Wow. I often don't open these little spots because I usually have my big ink pads, and a lot of times I like to use those. But for tonight, I will open that up so I don't have to go get my Rococo Rose ink. I am going to get out I'm going to get out all the little materials just like I did for March. So hang in there with me. Okay, so for this, oops. Let me find the envelopes first. That's the easiest method for me, is to lay out my envelopes. So we've got a green envelope, a purple envelope, and a blue envelope. Next, I'm looking at the little banners, and they are outlined in the coppery rose color. So for this one, I need a long rectangle. For the blue one, I need a double-edged banner. And for this one, I need one of these funky curly-like banners. Curled or scrolled is kind of what they've tried to make happen there. Okay, I need this for this card. We're going to need you get some of these die cut sheets. We're going to use that for that card, and we're going to use this one, this big flower, for that card or treat holder. This one gets this. And now we have the card bases. So this goes, the raspberry goes there. And this one goes here. For some reason, oh, here it is. It was just down there tucked hidden away. Okay, so there's all of our pieces that we need, I believe. I need to grab the sayings and the stamp set from over here. Okay. So then we're going to be using these coppery, rose gold sayings. So again, we're just going to start. I'm going to set them aside. Actually, we'll do this one last, I think. So let's start with the blue card first. So you're going to fold your base. It's already designed for you. You're going to fold that in half. You're going to pop out this little window. Lay that aside, because that would be something I would use for an alternate project. Because in essence, what you're going to do is you're going to be adhesing that behind there. So the first thing you're going to do is ink up this inside stamp. It looks like the 3 solid stripes. And you're going to ink that up with the Rococo Rose. Depends what I'm doing. Sometimes I stamp like this with these spots and things, and other times I stamp direct to the pad. So I've inked those up, and I'm going to just line them up with that cake. I'm going to try to get them on as good as I can. Again, remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's handmade art from the heart. Now the next thing I'm going to have is I'm going to use the Gary.
It's 7:40.
Had to holler, my husband's phone alarm is going off. And he's got headphones on. So I'm going to use that birthday. I'm just going to line that up on my block. You notice that I use this block. This is my favorite block. In fact, this one and this block are my two favorite size blocks. I almost always work with them exclusively. You can, there are different size blocks for different things. I just like these. On that little banner pennant, you're gonna put the birthday on there, and this one gets to be centered. So you're gonna center that saying right on there, just like so. And we are done with all the stamping. That's all of the stamping that there is for that. Now we merely adhere everything together. So for me, I will take my adhesive. You can use the little dots that come with it. You can use the mono, whatever. And I'm just running it on those edges. And then I'm going to center it how I want my cake. Now I'm ready and I can ink that. Because I am more concerned about the cake being centered, you know, and looking where I want instead of making the back centered. And I'm just layering that on, just like so. This gets layered on flat, comes across here about halfway. Yep, like so. And then we use the word wishes from these sayings, which I love. These are my most favorite part of this kit, are these three-dimensional foamy rose gold sayings. And then you're just popping it on there. Birthday wishes. Card one done. How awesome is that? Looks super good. I like this one because it could go to men, I think, with the colors, even though it's got a little tiny bit of pink. It's like that mauve-y pink. It's not too pink. And it's got a little bit of shine and bling. There you go. If you want, feel free to color in your candle, add some Wink of Stella, whatever you want to do to it. But it's done. It's just that easy. The next piece, the next one we're going to do is this card. And we're going to fold it at the folds. And it's kind of what I would call a buckle card. This is a great one. I saw someone do it, but I have not had time to play with it. But you put extra scores in here and you can make a treat holder out of it. So, but this is a buckle card where you're using a tab and inserting it in there. So if you want to write in it first, you can, but that's, in essence, there's your card. So think about it when you are designing, when you're doing this. You want to make sure that as you adhese things, they're going on this main side of the card. If you put adhesive on that flower on both sides, it will ruin the buckle effect. They won't be able to open it. So for this one, there's a couple of stamping things that they've done that kind of provide some cool dimension to it. So the little double flower that comes with this set, you're going to ink that up with your Rococo Rose. I'm going to lay just flat, no adhesive, and I'm going to look at approximately where I might want that to come out at, and then I'm going to move it. And then I'm going to stamp it. That's how I'm going to do it. That's how I do things. And then this one uses the saying, "You're a great reason to." So I'm going to pull that off. Switch blocks for that one. It's a little long, especially because I want to try to get it straight. Trying to get all my letters, for whatever reason, that U and O on that end don't want to ink. Okay. That goes on that straight banner that you've got. Let me pull my flower off so you can see a little better. That's how I stamp. I'm telling you. And I can tell when I get it down there that my stamp is not exactly perfectly straight, but I'm just going to go with it, because it actually doesn't look bad once it's done. Okay, so you're a great reason to, and then all you're going to do is have that. So now you're adhering. That's it. That's all for the card. Dimensional those puppies up. Making sure, and when I just did what I said not to do. Making sure, because I looked at that wrong. I just want the flower dimensional. You don't have to have it dimensional. But you do have to make sure that wherever your dimensional is not across that buckle. So I'm going to put that on like so. Two dimensionals, one there and one there is about where I put them. I am going to do my banner flat, and I am not going to put any adhesive on this last third of it, okay? So I'm going to tuck that right around up in there. They've covered that leaf. I personally like the leaf above it, so that's how I'm going to do mine. And then, last thing, pop out the word celebrate from these fabulous foam glitzy blingy words and layer that right over here. And you're done. So those are the little tricks. Make sure you don't, if you put adhesive over here on this leaf or on this tab, the person cannot open your card, okay? I will tell you, if this were me, I might want to write in my card before. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's card 2. Done. Just that fast. The last card, I saved it for the last because it does have a little bit more stamping to it. And it does use the flower. So this one has this raspberry background, and it has this. You will notice that there is a faint, I'm going to bring that really close, there is faint coloration on here and speckling. So the trick is you need to try to match that up. It does not need to be perfect, but the goal is to get some of the green color under the leaves and some of the pink under the petals. But we're using that Rococo Rose. And I'm just kind of trying to look at it, and that's where I'm going to put it. And I'm going to press down like so. There you go. And they did come back in with the little double flower that we used earlier. And they've used that at the top, coming out above this. And all I'm doing is, see this space? Let me put it close to the camera. There's a space right there. That's what I'm using as my guide, and that's where I'm going to sit that little stem line right in there. And that's another thing that's great about these photopolymer stamps, because you can see right through the block, right through the stamp, and you don't have to have anything extra to line it up. If you don't get it perfect, it is not a big deal, because guess what's the next thing we're going to do? We are going to be covering half of that image up, because we just want kind of a vintage look. So for this one, there are some tricks to this, and I want to tell you that before you start stamping. So you're using 2 different words combinations. Have a, that's 2 words, and then I guess 3, and then the birthday. The trick for this is knowing that you are going to sit the word lovely as a pop-up in here. So you really have to kind of pay attention. In fact, you may want to pop out that word lovely and just kind of lay it on there to gauge where are you going to stamp these things. So Hava needs to go kind of in this area right here where my finger is, which is currently covered in ink now. So I'm just going to, and I'm going to kind of stamp it toward the top edge of that copper. And then you have to look and kind of do the same thing with that word birthday. You have to know, I'm going to stick something in there, and it needs to go toward this end. Don't center the birthday up, or you will be covering it with your lovely. And I'm stamping it near the bottom edge of that. So now I'm going to adhere this onto my raspberry background. I just love this. I love how this, it's kind of modern-y background, the raspberry with that paintbrush technique. And then you put this with the scalloped lace, and it looks totally vintage. Now you're going to adhese down that double banner. Somewhere, wherever you want, they've kind of done it across the middle of that flower. And then, last thing, pop that word lovely on there, right in the center, and look at it before you lay it down. Even mine, I'm gonna have to kind of tilt mine, because even with measuring it, it's still kind of covering. But that's it, that's all it is. So there are your 3 cards. Let me move these and I'll lay those out so you can see them. Clear this way. So you've got that card, the blue, and we have the buckle card. So those are your 3 projects for the February kit if you make them as is. Again, I hope you had some fun tonight. I hope it gave you something else to do other than just sitting, zoning out to another binge of Netflix or whatever you're doing. And if you don't already get Paper Pumpkin, I would love for you to sign up with me. So make sure you text me at 816-785-1551. You can instant message me on Messenger. Make sure you go ahead and send the message if we're not friends that you want Paper Pumpkin. And you can find me on Facebook, Shannon Miller, Sizzlen Stamper. So I hope you really enjoyed this, and I look forward to hearing some comments from you guys, whether it's Messenger, whether it's texting, whether it's on my Facebook page. Thanks. Bye.